SQL injection. This learning path explores authentication vulnerabilities, which have a critical impact on security. You'll learn about vulnerabilities in common authentication mechanisms and strategies for robust authentication. So, contents. What is SQLi? Yeah, I guess I'll just read it, right? What is SQLi? It's a web vulnerability that allows an attacker to interfere with the queries that an application makes to the database or its database. This can allow an attacker to view data that they're not normally able to retrieve. This might include data that belongs to other users, or any other data that the application can access. In many cases, an attacker can modify or delete this data, causing persistent changes to the application's content or behavior. In some situations, an attacker can escalate a SQL injection attack to compromise underlying server or other backend infrastructure. It can also enable them to perform denial of service attacks. Yeah, so let's just continue. And I would want to rewrite at least one sentence. How to detect injection vulnerabilities. You can detect SQL injection manually using a systematic set of tests against every entry point in the application. To do this, you would typically submit a single quote character and look for errors or other anomalies. Some SQL-specific syntax that evaluates to the base original value of the entry point and to a different value, and look for systematic differences in the application responses. Some SQL syntax that evaluates to the base original value of the entry point. I don't know what they're saying here. It's like another sentence that would need to be clearer. Systematic differences in the application responses. Well, what does that mean? I don't know. Well, I get this and this Boolean conditions, such as, or look for differences in application responses. Yeah, so I think this is what they mean up here, but they're like split it into 2 points, so you assume this should be something else than this, right? Base value. So, or true or false. So you really wanted it all to be false. It would be like and false, of course. So I'm curious what they're thinking, but they'll probably explain stuff later. Payloads designed to trigger time delays when executed with a SQL query and look for differences in the time taken to respond. Yeah, I'm still thinking of this while I'm reading this. Time delays, yeah, of course. Yeah, so we were just at the native ones. So if we hop back to native, I should actually put the native scripts I made in my SQL there. And what made me think of that was it's a new folder script. Right, because I don't want to have the scripts I wrote to be used generally to just be in my native folder. And I have a few Python scripts here, as you can see. I think the easiest way to do this is to open this as System Explorer there. So if we go to natives and we do type and we do the Python files here. So I'm just copying these and we're going back to infosec. tools and info, SQL, scripts, and we paste them here. So then we can go back and look here. So now we have all the scripts that I made for the Nadas one here. And right, so I usually open code 2 in my Obsidian one. So to see scripts, I moved them, that's why it doesn't find. Docker, do you want? Well, okay, let it install it. So let's go back. Yeah, we were taking backup, so I made changes. So I took a backup of my streamer bot. So I'm just clicking because it's green. Was curious. So infosec, and then we have tools and info, which is also green, and this is orange. SQL, I'm just following the green here. Here they are, the new ones. So is there a new one then? Because I'm quite sure I have Python working nicely already. So anyway, this is for natives.
Crick with Fun says
obviously. Hi, welcome in. So these are scripts that I wrote to automate the things, and I want this up. So I guess this is just, let's see. Yeah, union select 1, 2 from users with username and password.
Pauline Canada says, whoa.
Hi. But then there are more. They're built up on each other. So I'm thinking I want to have these here in my SQL stuff, so I can, because I wrote these not just to do Nadas, because I could have done it manually, though some of them would have been like very boring to do in burp manually. But with Python it's very simple to do repetitive things like checking time delays. We'll see what does this one do. A binary test password. Right, so now we're doing time. That's what got me thinking of this here. Time delay. So we can see what's true and false, what actually works. Sorry, that's not a pretty one. So if it has more than 2 seconds delay, then we can assume that it was true. We found the character. And we're adding the character to the password here. So I could go through this if someone is interested, of course, but this is just the request it sent. So doing it like this instead of burp, we have more control over automating it ourselves and don't have to wait for burp's delay, because I don't have paid burp, so it's slow. Let's see, what was this? 18 did. Right, it's also double off because this is the same as this, so cookies. Right. So converting it to a dictionary. Yeah, remember this was a bit of a mess there. If response state is 200. Yeah, so this is our check to detect if we're on a working one. Was such a short one. I'm like, what? And for ID, right? So, so we're making a lot of requests here, and we're sending this cookie with the ID with changes with the loop, every step of the loop. So it sends this cookie here to cookies. So we're stealing someone's session there, really. So this one, right? This was fun. Yeah. So the later ones didn't have any. I didn't do any scripts for them. Oh, so it was the same like range here, but this is the kind of, this is kind of what we got. So it is converted. So it's not like the numbers themselves anymore in an ID. It was this format. So PHP /ID equals this hex string that is byte object dot hex. And byte object is ASCII string code. ASCII string, which is this ID. So first we convert a number to a string. Then we make sure that's ASCII, not some Unicode thingy. We make it hex, and then we put it in the string here. All as a string. Hexadecimal string. Right? So it will look like this. But this was generally always there. So. Yeah. So it actually, the note from this was kind of fun. I know that I'm digging into the old stuff now and I should continue, but it was fun. It's number 19. I have to check on it quickly. So here. So this is the data we got. And before I put these spaces in here, you couldn't really see the pattern. But when I put the spaces here and realized the pattern, so I just sent some random things and I saw the pattern here. I put burp, I guess. So that was when you're like, oh, there's a pattern. It's not just a random string of characters, First seeing this, okay, 3, it's a lot of 3s repeating, And then you see like, oh yeah, so these are 61, 64, 60, 6E. Oh right, so this is actually admin, -admin. That's what it says, this bit here. Number -admin. Right? So this should really be as a comment in the script, right? This is, yeah, it's already there, -admin. So, yeah. So, time to continue. Right, so we have made number 3 here too. So, let's put stack 3 there too. I don't remember though what exactly we did. So we'll add that later. Let's keep these up. or rather less close than we've been playing with. R2 and GDB. We also did some EDB, and I was just thinking of adding stuff there. But we will continue with this another day. Now we're going to do SQLi stuff, right? Don't want to focus too long on one area, even if I'm not finished with it. So, right, it's good with repetition to remember things and what you were doing, and now we're doing SQLi stuff. So, let's continue here. So, that's the time delay then, when executed with a SQL query, and look for differences in the time taken to respond. OAST payloads assigned to trigger an out-of-band network interaction, and when executed with an SQL query, and monitor any resulting interaction. So this I don't know anything about, so that's nice. Alternatively, you can find the majority of SQL injection vulnerability quickly and reliable with burp scanner, using burp scanner. So, I don't know, does that exist in the free one? This is Foursquare. So of course they'll mention burp, they make it and sell it. Oh, but it's not anything you would buy, like, while you're learning. SQL injection in different parts of the query. Most SQL injection vulnerability occurs in the where clause of the select query. Most experienced testers are familiar with this type of injection. However, SQL injection vulnerabilities can occur at any location within the query and within different query types. Some other common locations where SQL injections arise are in update statements within the update values or the where clause, in insert statement within the inserted values, in select statements within the table or column name, in select statement within the order by clause. Okay, so yeah, because this is also select, where of select. So they're just adding the name itself of the table or column can be a place to inject stuff, and in the order by. And this is also the where, but of the update. Within the inserted values itself of insert. Okay, we'll see. Retrieving hidden data. Imagine a shopping application that displays products in different categories. When a user clicks on the gifts category, their browser requests URL. Insecurewebsite.com, products, category gifts. This causes the application to make a SQL query to retrieve details of the relevant products from the database. Let's start from products where category gifts and released equals 1. The SQL query asks the database to return all the details from the products table where the category is gifts and released is 1. The restriction released 1 is being used to hide products that are not released. We could assume that for unreleased products, release 0. Yeah. Retrieving hidden data continued. The application doesn't implement any defenses against SQL injection attacks. This means an attacker can construct the following attack. For example, gifts comment. This results in the query. So let's start from products where category gifts and released 1. So this part is commented. Where is that? It's a comment. Yeah, removing the release, so it's just doing all of them. You can use a similar attack to cause the application to display all the products in any category, including categories they don't know about. Yeah. So we can't control the start of the query here. We can only control what's after here, after this equals. So we can't change anything before, but we can set new characters if it's not like filtered in any way, of course. So if it's or true, then it will return everything and skip the whole where thing, really. Everything from products. Return all items, yes. Warning. Take care when injection. No. Tips will be happy with the warning here. Take care when injecting the condition or 1 equals 1 into a query, a SQL query. Even if it appears to be harmless in the context you're injecting into, it's common in application to use data from a single request in multiple different queries. And your condition reaches an update or delete statement, for example, it can result in an accidental loss of data. So not just deleting one line, but all of the database or all of the table or something. So, lab. SQL injection vulnerability in var clause, allowing retrieval of hidden data. This lab contains a SQL injection vulnerability in the product category filter. When the user selects a category, the application carries out a SQL query like the following. I'm just starting my Kali here, it's not started yet. Sorry. Because we want to do stuff there because I don't have burp on my Windows. So, select star from products query category gifts and released equals 1. Okay, so we get the actual one that was used in the example. So we click access the lab and then we copy this URL to the Kali. So I'm just logging in. And this is on the web, so we don't need a VPN or anything. That's nice, right? So let's just copy this. I'm kind of thinking, should I copy this URL instead? Nah, let's just do this one. So let's open stuff. We want burp up. We want Firefox. So we're using burp as a proxy here in Firefox. So the queries the URLs we go to, you know, everything is like. Alright, so let's open a new tab. I have stuff there. So here. Yeah. I should clean out my tabs. So we have the same site up as we have here, so we can just close it here. So to solve the lab, it will say solved here instead. Perform a SQL injection attack that causes application to display one or more unreleased products. So let's see, I'm guessing it's like a search here, right? Also it says not solved here. So first, this is the start page. If we look at something, we get a product ID, and here is, yeah, so here's refine your search. So if we click something here, like this one, then we get the category here. So this is where we can change and add stuff. So Right, so we have so funny that it puts like random stuff here. Oh. So, assuming that after this we have a end character here to end this little lifestyle, and then we have and this character here, and then we have and released. So we want to comment the rest, right? So let's just do. Let's see if we just do 2 dashes. I'm kind of like doing that automatically. Let's do this and see if it helps. No. So so this is not all things. Let's instead do, well, first of all, I'll do that just to make a pretty end or whatever. I don't know. Let's do or 1 equals 1 here, because I'm assuming that's what they want, right? So we have all of it. So let's delete stuff from the end and see if it still works. We're not done just because it says so. So this also works. So if we don't comment the end of it at all, just nothing after it, we get an error, right? So if we do an or here and a, well, it will still not work, right? Because it's still the ending. It still has one of these at the end to stop the lifestyle one. So we really need to comment the rest. But it helps just, this is good enough. Or just, oh, that's not what I meant to do. So this is just commenting it is good enough. Because it's a full query, right? So I'm like thinking, is there anything here that I want to add to my notes? I think I already have all of this in my notes, but let's check to make sure, right? We don't want to assume we have notes on something just because it's not new to me. So this is my start here SQLi thingy. As you can see, this is kind of exactly what we did, though it's an extra one here. We also have the SQL injection, which has like other stuff too. I'm like just checking messages. I'm like, do I want to have most of my things in the start here? Is this what we're going to build here now, maybe? And if I need more details on something, I will make like add in other places. Let's just check. Yeah. So what I did here was making nice output with group concat, making like nice lists of passwords and usernames. CMD. Oh, right. So this is to load something into create a function in MySQL. Right. So that we won't do now, I think. MySQL. So this is more like not SQLi, just how MySQL command works. So it's not SQLi. That's L's thing to test and send and stuff. Then we have basic SQL. How union, insert, update, delete, and comments, statement end works. The basics. Then we have SQL line with starting with finding the version. We just added this line and changing IDs. That's kind of what we did now. And this is of course not safe. Something we knew works and safer alternative. Like a known username with the username. 3 types. Right. So just having the names there, that normal ones are called in-band SQLi. And when we can actually see an error message and get error message information, that's error-based. And union-based is, of course, when we use union to get data. And these are examples. For example, how to list tables by doing, for example, this is a value that doesn't exist. That's important. Or you get the output from that, not the first stuff here, which we'll get now. Then we have the blind. So we don't really get any feedback. Boolean based. Yeah, this is what we had examples of in the scripts. So we can only see if it works or not, like, kind of thing. Right, so we can check if the first character in the username is something, for example. Yeah, right, so I even have lines here. So we're database like, just wildcard will always be true. And we're trying to add a character before to see if the database starts with an S. And if it didn't, it will be false here. So it's the same queries that we had with union, but now we're not getting nice answers. We can't just ask for data. And then the type base that we were just looking at, the script. I don't know which one it was. Here, seconds after, before. So before I send the query, I check the time before and after, and then I see is the difference more than 2 seconds. Because we have a sleep 5 in here. So that's why, or how. Right, let's continue, go through this. Out of band. Yeah, so I'm not pleased with my notes. I've left white space here, right? Yeah, so you can use semicolons, not in all systems, and there's a double space here. Stored procedures, that's what we were looking at a bit up here. We made a function. No, that's not it at all. Was this where I was at? Going through stuff, repeating. Maybe it was this. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Oh ho ho. So here's upload and execute and exploit reverse shell. Yeah, so it's all, the other one was more like when you're in the machine already. So what was this? Yeah, so this is more like sending it from the page, right? Because we're uploading it in a query. Tools, where there's SQL map and something else that's similar that I haven't tested, but someone told me. Or I heard it on a stream or something, right? So SQLi parameters. Right. So if we have like ID equals 1, it might be running this. So if we do this, this is what we just did now, right? On the Web Academy. But we did it with a category instead. Right, so we just did an OR here too. And then we commented the rest of it. And types, yeah, the types again that we had in the other one too. And then SQL map, command, help and stuff. Yes, I'm kind of thinking we'll add stuff here. And now we have a bit of a check on where things are in the SQL directory here. Oh my. So. So no notes on this one, I'm thinking. Should we have like an example? It might be nice to have examples. But not here really. Let's make an examples. And here we can put like this one. Yeah, it will do that, right? So gets all we can also do stuff, you know, with burp, right? So in case you haven't seen burp, this is what it looks like. And if you look at the target, the sitemap, we can see here this one. But I usually just go to the HTTP history here of proxy. And I don't know when I used intercept last, but that's if you have to like change what you're sending or receiving before it gets there, kinda. Only right. Otherwise you can just use this. So here we can see the request and the response for this, and we can send it to repeater. which is a place where we can just modify what we're sending and send it. So stream failed to close correctly. So let's just send it again, right? Yeah, so something happened. Maybe it was too slow and it like closed it down. So if we click access the lab again. Okay. Yeah, so that was slow. Let's compare. Yeah, so we have a new number. It had to start it again for some reason. Yeah, so it's easier just to go back to proxy here, and let's go to the very end here. So when we send a new one here, let's actually do it a bit lazily and just replace this there. So we have the same thing. I don't know if they automatically close it quicker when you've solved it. I don't know. Possibly. And then we should have a new. Let's see here. Why is this sorted oddly? Can you see it's not sorted on the number? So I'm gonna like, what? Yeah. So images. Oh right. So all of the different resources. I think it might have saved settings. I didn't think it would save. So anyway, that's why it's not the bottom one. So then we could just send this one to repeater instead. Let's delete that one. So and now we send it and we get the response in here instead. And if we remove, let's see here. If we compare, we have lifestyle, and after that we have the single quote there. Is this character, and then we have the space, or space 1 equals 1 space dash dash. So this is this character. We can just also use this program to automatically write. It also says there's 27. So we could use that to do it, but it can also do automatical conversion here. So URL decode. Okay. Was it too hard for it? URL decode, encode. Oh, decode. I did decode. So it didn't think this was a key character, so then we'll have to do all characters instead. So 27. So now I'm curious if it doesn't do it with the automatic thing. We can also do like the whole thing, and let's decode, right? So we have it like this, and then we do encode of key characters. It doesn't do the single thing there, and it also uses pluses instead of %20. This is more readable, right? So it's the %3D here instead. The equals. That's the one it didn't do before. Yeah. So let's see how minimal we can do the encoding thing. Will this work with just pluses? No real URL encoding. And I think so, it works just as well, right? We have all of the crazy number of products here. It's not just saying, I can't do that, I don't understand the characters. So we don't need the single quote to be encoded here. We don't need the equals to be either. So that's nice. So we can change this easily and play around with it. So if we wanted to test removing the dashes here now for this and see if it works and send this, then we get internal server error, right? Because we don't have a nice end to it. So if we delete all of this and just have lifestyle, that's I guess what we had from the start, right? Then we will get the let's see, your search, clothing, shoes and accessories, gifts, pets, footer. I don't think it returned anything. So now I'm curious. So why didn't this return anything? Okay, so it doesn't exist anymore. So we got a new page. Okay, so if it doesn't exist, of course, we get no hits on it. Oh, I'm so curious to see the old ones now. So let's go somewhere here. Let me go back. Lifestyle. Yeah, so we have a lifestyle category here. Lifestyle. So when it reloaded, it didn't have a lifestyle. So there's no pets here too. So it's like a random one, right? That's fun. So if we go to the last one, I guess. So we can click pets. So we know now that there's a pet on this one. So let's do pets here instead. But there's also a nice test that we got all the data without actually sending anything that's a category at all. Giant grasshopper, lazy dog. Now we got all the pets. There are three ones here. So then we do the we first end it, right? And then we do or, and then we do 1 = 1, and then we need to comment the rest, and then we replace the spaces with pluses, like that, there, and then we send it, and that's control space. And now we should have a long list here, starting here. So it's much more than 3 now. All the items. There. Nice. So, oh right, so I actually went to the next one, did I? That would explain it. No? Well, it wasn't updated. It says sold now. So I think click this to think, oh, this might be fun, but it was only videos here, right? So I want to know all the things. I don't want to watch a video just to see someone else's solution. But it would be nice with a few lists, like items. People solve this and this and this and this way to see if you can learn more than what you already know, right? Subverting application logic. Imagine an application that lets users log in with the username and password. If a user submits a username, Wiener, and the password, Blue Cheese, the application checks the credentials by performing the following SQL query. Select star from users where username equals Wiener and password equals Blue Cheese. If a query returns the details of a user, then the login is successful, otherwise it is rejected. In this case, an attacker can log in as any user without the need for a password. They can do this using SQL comment sequence ---- to remove the password check from the where clause of the query. For example, submitting the username administrator other than the ---- or dash it's harder to say, right? And the blank password results in the following query. So this is just commented away. This query returns the user whose username is administrator and successfully logs the attacker in as a user. So we're going to let's do it a bit quicker, right? Because it's a very basic one, and I'm waiting. Come on. Right, so let's hop over here meanwhile and switch to, so it's opened, and let's open here instead, and we have a my account here now. I'm assuming we can log in here, so let's do administrator there, and we ending this, and we're just commenting the password bit, right? And we're logging in, and they want something here, so there, your username is administrator. Congratulations, you solved the lab. Okay, so let's close it. And we don't need to go to burp, I just wanted to show it in case someone didn't know it. SQL injection union attacks. When an application is vulnerable to SQL injection and the results of the query are returned within the application responses, you can use the union keyword to retrieve data from other tables within the database. This is commonly known as SQL injection union attack. The union keyword enables you to execute one or more additional select queries and append the results to the original query. For example, select AB from table 1, union select CD from table 2. This query returns a single result set with 2 columns containing values from columns A and B in table 1 and C and D in table 2. And if we will only have one output that we often have, we don't want more than one resulting line. SQL injection union attacks continues. For a union attack, union query to work, 2 key requirements must be met. The individual queries must return the same number of columns. So the same number of columns. Data types in each column must be compatible between the individual queries. It can't be like a text and a number and then the other one number text, right? So to carry out SQL injection union attack, make sure that your attack meets these 2 requirements. This normally involves finding out how many columns are being returned from the original query, which columns returned from the original query are of a suitable data type to hold the request. The results from the injected query. My voice again. Determining the number of columns required. When you perform an SQL injection union attack, there are two effective methods to determine how many columns are being returned from the original query. One method involves injecting a series of order by clauses and incrementing the specified column index until an error occurs. For example, 1 hour and 31 minutes. For example, the injection point is a quoted string within the where clause of the original query. You would submit order by 1, order by 2, order by 3. Okay, so I don't think I've used this. So I use the other way. So we'll have to make notes, because I don't think I have this in my notes. Oh. So this is like cheating, right? Order by 1 or by 2. Oh, that's interesting. I don't know if it's quicker though. This series of payloads modify the original query to order the results by different columns in the result set. The column or by is specified by index, so you don't have to know the names of any columns. When the specific column index exceeds the number of actual columns in the result set, the database returns an error such as the order by position number 3 is out of range. The application might actually return the database error in its HTTP response, but it may also get a generic error response. In other cases, it may simply return no result at all. Either way, as long as you can detect some difference in the response, you can infer how many columns are being returned. Yes, I'm thinking this is a kind of nice thing. I guess we should put it somewhere in the notes. So, let's see here. So this is the other way. Let's add here. We can also use order by 1. Yeah. Let's do this. We can also use order, then try to get information. I remove those because it's just order by 1. Order by 2. Until we get an error not functioning. Normally functioning page to see the number, to find the number of columns. Right, so we've added to the notes again. There. Determining the number of columns required continues. The second method involves submitting the union select. So this is the one that we already have up here. So they only have this instead. I don't know why they have this here. Right, now I know why they have this. Because in mine it was not a string here, it's a number. That's why I have the number in my example. So in this one it would be 0 space, right? To keep it the same. That's why we don't have the single fnut there. That's I'm Englification making English of my Swedish word fnut, which is like not a word, it's a invented word. Yeah, I think I feel better today.
Clyde Husto says, is cyber second good?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. So, so you're interested in cybersecurity? Anyway, let's continue. We already have notes on this, but let's read on anyway. If the number of nulls does not match the number of columns, the database will give an error. Such as all queries combined using union intersect except must have an equal number of expressions in their target list. I haven't seen exactly that one though. We use null. I'm just checking that you can see this right page. So you're not on the right screen or anything here. We use null as the values returned from the injected select query. Because the data types of each column must be compatible between the original and injected queries. Null is convenient to is convertible to every common data type. Yeah. So it maximizes the chance that the payload will succeed when the column count is correct, right? So we might change our notes here actually, because this is, I thought of this when I added the zeros here. This is specific. Like observe that 0 is specific. So observe that 0 is specific. Yeah, I wanna move this anyway. For an int type and for a string would be replaced by probably will be replaced by a, and it added an extra one. Also to be compatible with all data types. I don't think we need to do this though. I think 1, 2, 3 works for all, but maybe it's different in different like dialects of SQL. Null can be used instead of numbers, right? So 0 union select null comma null. Example There. Well, let's do something. So just doing a string there to show that it could be different, right? So in this case, we don't need to change here. It's like, might be shorter to type too. Sorry. I'm sorry. Is it my tummy? I'm thinking this is not directly connected, so also let's not use like sentences. I don't have that for the rest, so it's not, no. Well, I guess I do. It's mixed. It's mixed. All right. God, my nose. Yeah, I don't think I will be running today. Sorry, but I guess I'll check out if the library is still good there. Nah. Maybe I'll take a walk. Maybe I'll take a walk outside in the sunshine. Maybe I'll stream that. We'll see. I don't think I should run anyway. We'll see what I'll do. We use null as the values returned from the injected select query, because data types in each column must be compatible between the original and the injected queries. Null is convertible to every common data type, so it maximizes the chance that the payload will succeed when the column count is correct. As with the order by technique, the application might actually return the database error in its HTTP response, but may return a generic error or simply return no results. When the number of nulls matches the number of columns, the database returns an additional row in the result set containing null values in each column. The effect on the HTTP response depends on the application's code. If you're lucky, you will see some additional content within the response, such as an extra row on an HTML table. Otherwise, the null values might trigger a different error, such as null pointer exception. In the worst case, the response might look the same as a response for an incorrect number of nulls. This would make this method ineffective. Okay, so that's the downside of nulls. So we need to add something here in the notes because I didn't have this, so we added it. So let's also observe. So in Sweden I just do obs. Let's do this right here too. That this could result in errors depending on the use of the data as the returning values will be null. One error. Well, let's do EX again here, right? EX null pointer exception. How did they type it? Yeah, like this. So for me, this admittedly, you understand what the context there. So let's do this so we don't have the red line. Yeah. So if there's something like null pointer exception that you don't understand, just ask. Lab SQL injection union attack, determining the number of columns returned by the query. So I just read the name and didn't listen. Yeah, we're supposed to find the number of columns. Let's click this before I read. That's what I learned to do last time. I remember that now. So, this lab contains an SQL query. Why do I say "and" with SQL? I don't know. A vulnerability in the product category filter. The same as last time, then, kinda. The results from the query are returned in the application's response. So you can use a union attack to retrieve data from other tables. Right, so we get a list of things, right? We'll get a list of all the contents. The first step of such an attack is to determine the number of columns that are being returned by the query. Do we have to do this in steps then? Well, you will then use a technique in the subsequent labs to construct the full attack. To resolve the lab, determine the number of columns returned by the query by performing an SQL injection union attack returns an additional row containing null values. Yeah, so I'm kind of like, so why am I doing this? And then I'm like, yeah, but we did add stuff to the notes, and maybe I'm not in shape to do something that's like forces me to think. So we want to have finished all the labs, right? We want to have all the check marks on the list, don't we? We want it. We want it. Alright, so this is the format. Okay. So let's do pets again. Oh. So what was the question? How many columns, right? Perform SQL injection attack returns an additional row. Yeah, because then we will know. So it's telling us to use the first method to return another row, not to do this one. So first we have to end this string that we're actually in, and then we do a union select, and they want us to do nulls. So let's actually test. I think we can do lowercase, and I'm guessing 2. We'll see. No, it's not 2. So let's do 1, though that likelihood of 1 is not big. So null, null, and it might have to be capitalized, but I'm not sure. So I'll do a few more, then I'll go back and do it the way it's supposed to be, or whatever. Yeah, so let's do. But I'm not going to type this more times, so. Okay, why did I do that? So we have an error. So I'm still thinking they both work and that they have a crazy amount of things, right? And it's much easier to type 1, 2, 3 than this. So seriously, where's the page? Oh no. So I tried clicking back here. Maybe I shouldn't have. So I wanted to go back to their example. So this is how they do it. So I don't have, I put spaces here. Alright, also comment the rest, of course. I forgot to comment. So that's the way it's nice to go back. I don't have it here because there's no extra. So we'll need to add that to the notes too, right? To get rid of the rest of the query, you can add to the end like there, right? So let's go back and redo it. I think it's 2. So not like that. So many tests. But this is good. Also, let's remove the space. I don't think it matters. Nah, right. So I had this copied. But there. So it is 3. Now we confirm that we can do this lowercase, right? So we get another line the same way with uppercase and lowercase null, meaning as the rest of SQL is not case sensitive. We can do union select with lowercase. We can do null with lowercase. Let's also test spaces, right? So as this is like white space in the SQL, it shouldn't matter. And we should be able to put like a million spaces here too. And it should be totally the same thing, though it will be a lot of %20s here. So it all works. I almost want to play with more things, but I guess there will be more things to do, right? Yeah, so I added this. The rest of the query, like a password after username. So examples are always nice, right? Always nice with examples. So we update the page, we get it solved, we close that one. So of course we could do these here. I just prefer to have it on different sides, right? And we have burp there in case we want to dig deeper into it and look what it looks like. So let's continue. DTP specific syntax. On Oracle, every select query must use the from keyword and specify a valid table. There is a built-in table in Oracle called Jewel, which can be used for this purpose. So the injected queries on Oracle would need to look like the payload described from the double dash comment sequence to come. Comment out a reminder of the original query following the injection point on MySQL. The double dash sequence must be followed by a space. Yeah, so this is why I have space dash usually. Alternatively, the hash character number can be used to identify the comment. For more details on database specific, this is a cheat sheet that I had open at the start because someone else, actually Finn with Gun, I think his name is, on Twitch. Let's of course go there and let's do a shout out, right? So yeah, I did search for him, and he's got 56 followers. He just started streaming, so his name here is this. So he's been streaming like every day now, I think. So there. So that's how I got the cheat sheet tip from. He's been streaming here, and last time he seems to have recorded it. It's 005. So no videos yet. Oh right, so some people have not disabled the icon. So that's who I got the cheat sheet link from, and also the inspiration to start doing again the Obscurity Academy. So I just tested it once if in that other one, but I don't want to continue without going back and repeating, and this is much simpler stuff too, though that one was well, I don't know. This is much simpler. Oracle every select query. So we read all of this. We have the specific syntax. Oracle requires the from keyword. And MySQL, as it requires this. Yeah, so we need to add all the information to the nodes. That's why we have the nodes. So let's do a parenthesis here. In Oracle, the from, well, should I do capitalized? From keyword is required, and there's a specific required special built specific special. My God. So Jewel that can be used. Let's do Oracle capitalized to make it stand out a bit. we can actually do it like this too. In article. I don't know, now I don't like that. Let's do it bold instead, right? In article, the from keyword is required in a query. And there's a special built-in table called Jewel. So bold that too, that can be used. And we have an example, of course. And I think I copied it, right? And I already had the there. So union select null from dual. I don't like the uppercase thing though, because it makes people think you can only use uppercase, and I assume that Oracle is like the others and don't require uppercase. Well, let's leave it in there to just have not the same all the time. So it's 11, meaning my track me will pop up and say, remember me. So this is a path, the room on the path we're on. So we dug deeper into overflow, buffer overflow, and this is just like do next, next, next. Not enough information and requires pre-knowledge. So that's where we're digging in, while we're digging into buffer overflow. I'll continue that too. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I do 2 days of Portswigger Web Academy and 2 days of buffer overflows and 1 day of boxes or something like that, or just like rotate 2 days, 2 days, 2 days. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Also, it's like if I'm not in top shape like I feel today, then maybe I don't feel like doing something that feels more, though none of these things feels like tougher really. Yeah, I just want to mix it up a bit, not do the same thing for 3 weeks in a row. So we have added this to the comments. Should we add about the comment in my SQL dash dash. Well, a space is required after dash dash. So I use dash 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 because it's, you already have it on your under your fingers, right? There. So or use for commenting. I didn't know about this. This is new. Let's also add this to our SQL. I think I have comments. So yeah. So this character will need to be in these, or it will make it a header. My SQL only MySQL rec space after, making it so hard for us to do this, right? So all the others have this. It's just these single characters I didn't do. Yeah. Well, I'm more thinking statement and statement separator maybe. whatever. Let's leave it at that. Yeah, we're at the start here. We're building out the start here. So let's actually do this. There. We don't have to put all the data in here, it's in other places, right? I realized I had it both up here and here, but not here, so it didn't really need to be added. Right, so we've already added to the nodes, also added some things, other things. Finding columns with a useful data type. SQL injection union attack enables you to retrieve the result from an injected query. The interesting data that you want to retrieve is normally in string form. This means that you need to find one or more columns in the original query results whose data type is or is compatible with string data. After you determine the number of required columns, you can probe each column to test whether it can hold string data. You can submit a series of union select payloads that place a string value in each column in turn. For example, if the query returns 4 columns, you would submit. Right, so they're doing the example we had here, it's 4 columns, right? No, it was 3. So if the column data type is not compatible with string data, the injected query will cause a database error, such as, yeah. So we're copying this to our SQL injection nodes. So we need a few headers here. Get information. So let's do a, what did I use here before? This is 4th level, so then this needs to be a lower level. 5th level header. 6 I think is the lowest level. Let's do 5. We can see that this is bigger than this. That's good enough. 3, 5, and then we have 4, 4, 3. So these are subheaders. Yeah, that's correct. Though they're not much difference in the size, right? From the database, like get database table information. So first we have get, and also 5 get current table information. So there, and then we get like from the database other information. First we need to know where we are at. So since the union requires same number of columns, so first we need the columns. So actually let's get
Noriko Neko says get current snack situation.
definitely, right? So I have a few banana chips left, that's all. Sorry Nori, I don't have anything else really. I don't think I should eat more of those. I always feel sick when I eat those. You shouldn't eat them either. Don't want to make you feel sick. And I don't have any cute cat pictures either, I think. So what should we do then, Nori? Maybe you can send me some. So get number of columns in the current table. It's a long header, but I like it. So this is why we need it, right? Right, actually, this is why we have the next two headers.
Noriko Neko says I don't think you want my snacks. Not very human friendly, only for cat Noriki 1 blab.
Okay. Okay. It's okay, okay. You can be here anyway without giving me snacks. It's okay. No, double. The data needs to have a similar data type, right? So then first we need to get the number of columns, because as a result must have the same number of columns, right? So we can try this method, and we just added some comments here about article. Also make sure this here doesn't actually return these since that would block the new data if there's an if there, if we only can see one result. And that I think is the most common, right? Observe the series specific for int type, and should I do number instead? Replaced by dit. And also this one, let's do it like that so it's more visible. To compare, to be compatible with all data types, null can be used instead of numbers. We can also use, now we're adding a header here. This is where we were going with this reorganization, because now we want to get data type. So I'm actually copying this, and number of columns. Okay, number of columns, not number or columns. Of data type of columns in the current table. So this is where we're adding this thing. So to find out the data type. Right, so I haven't used capitals on the start of, it's not sentences, just text, right? We can use the same method and This is like ugly. Let's make it prettier. We don't want ugly, we want pretty. Right, I forgot when a new line it removes. There, and now let's do this. So I will started to think what keys I'm pressing, and then it goes slower. So we want a string type for easy output of data from the database. There. Yeah, I think this is better. To find the data type. What was I typing? Let's just, to find one, because now I added a line here, we can use the same method. There. So that's kinda enough, right? So we don't want extra text if we don't really need it. And we might split up the one section over here because it's like one page of text, not organized. We'll see. I think it's kinda easy to read anyway. I'll have to reread it and reorganize it. There's a column data type. It's not compatible with string data. Yeah, so it's obvious that we get an error, right? We don't have to say that. The notes. Lab, SQL injection union attack, finding a column containing text. This lab contains SQL injection vulnerability. Right click the lab, so it starts. It's slow thing. The results from the query are returned in the application response. So you can use a union attack to retrieve data from the other tables. To construct such an attack, we first need to determine the number of columns returned by the query. You can do this by using the technique you learned in the previous lab. The next step is to identify a column that is compatible with string data. So we're supposed to do the same thing that we just saw and put in our notes. The lab will provide a random value that you need to make appear within the query results. To solve the lab, perform SQL injection union attack returns an additional row containing the value provided. What value provided? This technique helps you determine which columns are compatible with string data. What provided? Well, maybe we can see something here on this page. This is bad. Your new home office. So, sorry, but I have to see the details there. So this is our new home office. Yeah. We're just getting this link over to this one. Are we lazy? Nah, we can type again, right? It's better practice to type again, isn't it? Alright, look. Here's the actual task to do. Yeah, I was kinda... Make the database retrieve the string. Let's get started. We can think about that later. So we have a table again, so we will be able to see several things, right? We can just get all the data if we need to, right? To our database. So back to the task. Yeah, so let's check first for how many tables. So we click something that we know is a query, and then we change it. So let's start with I guess we do a union select, and so I guess we'll do null because that's the expected one, and dash dash, and we have an empty line. It was 3 this time too. So now we do we check our notes. We're supposed to add a string there, right? And test it in the different positions. So let's do it. And I'm typing in my notes. That's funny. I typed an A. Actually, I think I typed that. So this is an error, right? So when we no, we don't want to undo. It apparently hopped to something much longer. So we do a null comma and we remove this null instead. There. So this is a second one, and now we have an A there. So I'm thinking, will it actually just ask us to put this there? Is this what it does? In that case, it is not correctly formulated. Yeah, but I thought that's probably what it wanted us to do. Not actually retrieve this, find the string in the database. That it's not the level we're at in this, though we could have done that. Searching through the whole database. I guess it's a tiny database, alright? Because it sounds like that. Well, the description disappeared now. This is not the description I wanted. I wanted to see what was there before. Whatever, we don't need that one anymore. I guess we won't experiment with it because the description disappeared. Okay, so there. So let's update and continue. Using SQL injection union attack to retrieve interesting data. Now we're at the next step of our notes here, getting databases, tables, information. Yeah, columns, contents is the next bit. So it would have been odd for us to retrieve this in the last task. When you have determined the number of columns returned by the original query. I'm just amazed at the slow speed. But I guess details are good. But where are the details? No, sorry, I shouldn't complain. It's great. It's great, actually. You are in a position to retrieve interesting data. The original query returns 2 columns, both of which can hold string data. The injection point is a quoted string within the where clause. The database contains a table called users with the columns username and password. In this example, you can retrieve the contents of the users table by submitting the input. Yeah, so I'm thinking I should update my notes with my nice formatting ones for this, right? Because I have nice formatting. We checked the notes before. Was one of these. Am I like blind? There. So this is this one, you know. Union select username password from users. Union select password from accounts. Well, but then I instead did group concat, and I got all of them, and then I did here union select usernames, group concat username, passwords, group concat password from accounts. So then you get this username colon admin, so passwords admin. Here's your password. So it's maybe not the best, but at least usernames are these and passwords are these. Well, I guess this is how. I'm like, where is this from? So I was just playing with getting the output prettier. So we should probably add that to the notes and remove that thing. So images in the notes are, I feel like bad to put a lot of data on GitHub, right? A lot of images. And also, if the notes are tinier, it's nice, right? Oh, this example you can retrieve the content. Oh my god, I can't read while I'm doing that, right? In order to perform this attack, sorry for detour. I'm just curious if there's a date somewhere here. September. So this was, it's almost a year ago. So that's why I feel this is easy, I guess. So I've almost been doing this for a year, or a bit more than a year. Like, yeah, a year and a few months now. So, I'm not really tired, I think. In order to perform this attack, you need to know that there is a table called users with 2 columns called username and password. Without this information, you would have to guess the names of tables and columns. All modern databases provide ways to examine the database structures and determine the tables and columns they contain. Will we get to that step now? No, it's a lab now. One thing at a time, one lab at a time. Yeah. Well, it's good with repetition, but this is so basic. Well, this lab contains an SQL injection vulnerability in the product category filter. The results from the query are returned in the application's response, so you can use the union attack to retrieve data from other tables. To construct such an attack, you need to combine some of the techniques you learned in the previous labs. Use the information to log in as administrator. So we're supposed to get the administrator's password, right? Yeah, so it's good. Good repetition is good. It's good doing this. I'm not complaining. I don't know what I am really. Oh my goodness. It's just good. It's just good. So, opening the page on my right screen. Oh, so now we have a lot of text here. So they're really making it easy for us to get a lot of data by having a lot of text, right? So I didn't make new notes because we already have notes, right? So let's play with Yeah. So instead of playing with my stuff, I'll do their stuff. I should be a good girl and do as it is sad. You should too. Then we have both lifestyle and pets, by the way. Is it like random what you get? So pets. So what we're doing really is, I guess we're building like a muscle memory for typing these kinds of things, right? So doing it a lot of times. Right, let's start. Let's go through the steps, right? So we'll repeat what we've been doing. Let's do it all. So we had the right number, I think. Yeah, so that's a bad one, and that's a bad one. So 2 nulls got us the right one. And as I'm thinking that we have 2 strings here, right? So let's do AB, right? So we can do A and B. So instead of this now, we do go the next step. Yeah, I just realized our notes. We need to add something here. No, it was examples I put it. So we haven't added the in-between steps. Web page. .com. I don't change more than that, that's too much. And I think the easiest way is to go to burp. And let's just check our latest requests here. So here is null AB, null. So null is the one which gets results. So I'm going to retype this. No, I can't do that without putting it in the repeater. Sorry, I'm like there. And then we do, instead of %20, we do minus. Now we do plus. I'm like, what am I doing? So that would be a mess at the end, right there. And then it still works and we get all the responses. So I'm just going to copy this here. And we put it here. So find number of calls, short things here, And the next one. There, now we added AB to the end. So trying Control C here. There, so we copied it here. Make sure columns are text. So then we can output data, right? Because the next step will be to change this, and I'm thinking it's easier for Stream to do it here, right? So was username. And now we're not doing these because these are names of things we want to reference. It's not variables, but it's column names. And then we need from users, right?
AlFixTV says best viewers on hinwelfare.com/ifu6.
Yeah, so message
Fixit42 bot says message removed.
So far we're catching them the stream. That's the second one. I wish I could do something to make the TTS not read them. Yeah, I guess I can. Right, so it's just too quick before they're deleted. The streamer bot, speaker bot, reads them once. So it's the same with YouTube. Messages that are auto removed from YouTube by YouTube themselves are still read by the TTS, the speaker bot one. Yeah. Yeah, so this is funny. So this is why it's nicer to have a non-valid first one. So we get only the stuff we want, right? We don't get the other data from the first one. Only our second union bit is valid. So even when we get a table as a response, it's nicer to have this. So we're supposed to log in with this user here. I'm just thinking, so here we have a nice table. We don't have to do anything. They were very kind to give us this nice table to output the data in. If we had only one field, we would have to mess about with stuff like I was showing before here, like this. So prettify it a bit. Add the strings together here, usernames, and then I concat all the usernames with comma between, and then we add to that passwords and concat all the passwords together. That's why it's usernames and passwords and not user one, user password one, or this one. I guess I should fix this even better, right? Yes, I wonder why I put that there too. Well. So, examples. Let's put this in the examples too. So right, the first one has the ugly characters. Let's fix this. Oh, that was OBS going a bit crazy and putting that around there instead. I'm just replacing %20 with space, which is plus. So this can be used in burp, but I guess I should put it instead like it would be in the browser maybe. I don't know. What you think? So this is the same one again. Why did I put it here? Because I failed to copy, I guess. Let's copy again. So double Control C this time. Let's see if that works better. Yeah, so this is why I'm thinking this is it's also more readable. And if we're putting it in burp, we will know that we put it in burp. We can change to pluses. I just thought it was fun that we didn't need to do more. This is much more readable, right? Right, so I changed pets to queer. So let's do pets first. QWERTY, the first characters on the keyboard, just randomly. Adds lines with username and password. Password to the table. Shows only our data as the first value is bad and has no return values, right? Oh, that's why I did queer, so we only got the pretty output there. So I'm like, should I link the examples here, or should I put the examples in here too, really, instead? So this is with the group concat, but we could also do the, if I paste here, yeah. So this is another example. Union select username, password from users. We don't need to yeah. Yeah. So this is nice. Let's do this one too. So we'll have to edit it. So let's actually duplicate, because I don't wanna, I still want that one up. And then we will
VR_Mechatronics says hi, how is going?
Yeah, it's good. How are you? It's good. I'm having fun, but mostly repetition of stuff I know, but it's still nice to make prettier notes and make more examples and repeat and make muscle memory, right? And play with the things I already know. So group concat, now we're doing username, password, separator, BR. If we only had like one place to do this, and it's called users, and password and username are the same.
VR_Mechatronics says I read about how IT companies make money on GPT. Very smart informations.
Okay. So did I miss anything else? With union select, we have, let's do A instead here, right? And let's keep the data, which was pets, I think. So no, and Y. Oh, I know why. So all of the changes I made, I have to undo. This was this example. So let's do null, comma, so we will not get output there. And then we go to the end and add dash dash. And what else did I change? So maybe this doesn't work with group concat on this this one. There are different ones. Let's just skip it for now, really. And let's finish this one and go to the next one. Shouldn't go too much into it. I don't want to like check what database it was, what command you use for group concat on that one. That's what I'm skipping. So we'll get there, I'm sure, with this guide or the Web Academy. So let's go my account, administrator, and let's paste the password and login as administrator, and we solved it. Alright, so let's go back to the notes and oh my. It stopped in the middle of typing. Mess with concating. Right. I mean, this is not really a word. It's a something like that. Concating. I guess it's okay to have a red line. I don't care. Though group concat is one that is nice to have for different ones, really. Because I've needed that before. So next. No. Yeah, now it's solved. I don't know. I thought it would update there automatically. It didn't. By going back and forward, but forward and back worked. Just making sure it actually knows that it was finished. Retrieving multiple values with a single column. In some cases, the query in the previous example may only return a single column. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. You can retrieve multiple values together within this single column by concatenating the values together. Oh yeah. You can include a separator to let you distinguish between combined values. For example, on Oracle, you would submit the input. Are we on Oracle? And that's why my group concat didn't work. So they're doing a lot on Oracle, right? So, yeah. So let's add this to the notes. Oracle. I'm bolding the names because it's kind of important. And this is, I'm assuming in MySQL, right? And if there were several tables, several columns here, we would have to do 1 comma or null comma. So this uses the double pipe sequence, which is a string concatenation operator in Oracle. The injected query concatenates together the values of the username and password fields separated by the character. I can't repeat that if you ask me to. The results from the query contain all the username and passwords, for example. Different databases use different syntax to perform the string concatenation. So we still have this one up. Will it still work though when it's solved? It closed it down very quickly. So this still works. Let's see if this works here now. So if we do username and then the second one, we do username again. It will look a bit funny, but I don't care. And then we pipe, and we do like a dash, and we can have spaces here too, making it a bit prettier, right? Then there's, and then we have password from users, right? So, oh right, I was like, what's this? But it actually outputs it too. So now we get the administrator and the password in the same thing here. So if we null the first one, we only get this list. So it's another formatting way. So copying this. Because I prefer this one in the notes than theirs. Theirs was not as pretty. So let's remove the kva. Let's do like bad data. Union select null username and article. So I don't think it's only Oracle. I think there are others too that use the pipe as string concatenation. I think yesterday was Postgre that it did the same thing. Do I still have that one up? No, it's not up. Here. I'm like, there was a link. So here it also has the pipes as string concatenation. In MySQL you do concat. Or just a space. Okay. Well, I had the group concat. Now I'm curious what the difference is. So let's find that out. MySQL concat group concat vs. There's a difference. The different here is where concat is used to combine values across columns. Group concat gives the compatibility to combine values across rows. Yeah. It's also important to note that both group concat and concat can be combined to return desired results. This is nice. We want this data. I crave the knowledge. Yeah, so we can make even prettier output with this. So in this result here, we still get 3 results. If we just saw the one, we would have to like limit it and step to another one, skip 1 or 2 or whatever, and mess about. If we can just have all the data in one here, that's much better. That's why I had the new line in there on my other one. So if I can make it better, like get all of the tables data out in a pretty way in one location here. That would be nice, right? But I'll have to see some examples of how they work. So I just want examples here. So this is just concatenating the strings. Just getting some dummy data. Concat first and last name. And we're getting several lines of output. Yeah. Right, so you wouldn't want them without a space. Concat with a space too, right? Order by too. So the thing is that we usually can't mess with the full query. Just have a tiny bit that we can change, right? So come on, yeah, here we have group concat. Group concat department gives us engineering, accounting, engineering, human resources trainee. But we want department and something else there, right? Like username and password. So what I did before was to do group concat this and just add it. Well, concat it. Concat this string with another string. And let's see what else they have. Distinct department. Alright, because this is duplicated. Alright. That's nice. Separator pipe. Yeah, we use separator. But what I want is to have several group count by fname order by fname mask separator as students from student by department. Ooh, cool. Cooly. Nice. And now we're combining them. This is where I'm going. Suppose we want to show the concatenated values of names and last name along with each department. Yeah. Right. The group concat ordered by I'm a bit amazed actually that you can do this. No, it's not. It's not doing it. It's doing it in here. Yeah. Yeah, that's not so amazing. So, handling no values with concat. If no. Nice. Yeah, so I can look at this later. I'm like, where are we? All right, I opened the cheat sheet up from link there. So we finished this one, right? Did I go to the next one and read on after we finished it? Yeah. So I didn't go back, just checking. Alright. So let's start this one first, because it takes time. Lab. SQL injection union attack retrieving multiple values in a single column. Okay, so we're doing what we just did. This lab contains SQL injection vulnerability in the product category folder. The results from the query are returned in the application's response, so you can use the union attack to retrieve data from other tables. The data contains a different table called users. What columns are called? Username and password. To solve this lab, perform SQL injection union attack retrieves all usernames and passwords to use the information to log in as administrator user. So we're supposed to just do what we just did, but we're supposed to use the new link here. So let's do that. And let's open a new one and paste it here because we have to explore this table. Yeah, I was assuming this. So let's just, since we've already done this, and they have still not mentioned, they have still not mentioned that you can get your data more unique, right? So no, I was wrong. So let's see. No, I don't like the undo here. It doesn't undo my last change. First, we have pets. And then we have, I had null comma. So it still was 2. I thought it was just 1 on this one. So I didn't have to edit it. And then we'd make pets into queer or something. That's not valid. So we get all our data, and we can easily see the password of the administrator. My account, administrator, password, login, solved. There. So, since we just did it, just do it quickly, right? So, it's just a bit annoying that we can't just do it all on the same page, since they take time to load too. Examining the database in SQL injection text. So it's 12:30, so it's an hour until I leave and drive away with my car. So I guess we've done like half of it anyway. Not really half. It's 21 of 51. But the points here. Let's do one more. Examining the database in SQL injection text. To exploit SQL injection vulnerability, it is often necessary to find information about the database. This includes the type of version of the database software, the tables and columns that the database contains. Yeah, so we just skipped this before and just guessed syntax, right? So that's like bad. Got data from there before knowing the database, right? So this is already in my data, in my so here we have the first, finding the version, and then we have yeah, we skipped it here, getting tables database. Then I edited notes underneath this, so we just hopped there. So yeah, so I want to start this one first because it's slow and I'm kind of assuming we're supposed to querying database type of version on MySQL and Microsoft. And they say Microsoft, not SQL. This is like, why call it Microsoft? Well, I don't know. Yeah, it's odd to me. Well, that doesn't matter, I guess. Live contains SQL injection vulnerability in the product category filter, the same as before. So let's read this line. There's nothing to read. It's so basic. There. Copying. Let's go here and paste it. And I managed to add another tab to my stuff. And makes it database retrieve the string. So isn't this a bit specific? Yeah, so we have all the data here. We can go categories. Let's go it again because this is where we can filter stuff and we get to decide the query. So let's start with let's assume again we have a let's add these so I don't forget by just forgetting. Union select So Oracle says it's start from v dollar version. V dollar version. So let's see. This doesn't work, right? Oh, sorry. We still want this text. So what we don't know yet, or rather what we probably know. So let's go back and do the basics, right? So first of all, if we delete all of this and do pets, right, we have the data back, and then we can do oh, sorry, we start with this, and this should do like the same thing. We don't have any or 1 equals 1 or anything. We get an error. Okay, so now I already know what it is. No, don't I? So let's try it again. Union. So I'm thinking I should go and eat. I should go and eat. Is it 2? Right. And then we do trying to remember it, but let's see if I have it in my notes. Here. Version from. Oh no. I have to click here again. Yeah, now we can type version from v dollar. Oh, wrong character. Instance. Yep. And then we try just version with at first. And then we have a result, and we get this string here, and we don't want the other data, so we replace this, and we have a prettier output there. So I guess the reason they say this is because they want us to try these two, right? And they both have the same, that's why. So they didn't want us to actually find out what it was, they told us what it was. That's why I'm a bit disappointed on these. Couldn't we be allowed to find it out and get some satisfaction from finding it out, right? Wouldn't that be better? Wouldn't that be better? Oh well. Yeah, so I don't have time. I have to eat something and talk to my kid, so he's prepared to leave for school. Yeah, but of course we'll continue this, and let's not wait. Well, this is 4 of 5. But it'll be a new lab, so I have to open a new one. No, I don't have the time, sorry. But this is very basic stuff, so it's not like I will feel I need to go back here. But it's good to repeat and to repeat and repeat and repeat these things, because instead of checking notes, you just know it then, right? And remember what that it is added version for these, right? That's such a simple query, right? This one, such a simple one. So let's see. We actually have someone streaming in InfoSec streams, but it's French. So that makes me feel it's not possible. Yes, so I won't understand a single word, and that's, I can't read someone that I don't understand a single word. Can I? Let's see. So there. Let's do it. Let's spread the love. There's not like anyone else to raid really. Anyway, right? So we don't have a lot of people online at this time. So it's Europe. It's Europe. So let's see. Right. Yeah, so maybe I should make some notes on this one too. But I think I had it in my notes. I usually got it from the notes, right? I got it from the notes. That's where I got it. Yeah. So let's copy the name of it.